Mama Luma, tying marriage beads around the wrist of Amari, the wandering woman everyone called mad. Amari was laughing at an empty clay pot, as if someone lived inside it. Kato froze. "You will marry her before sunset," Mama Luma declared. Kato's face burned with anger. "Mother, have you lost your mind too? I have no cattle, no silver, and no bride price," she snapped. "She costs nothing."
She costs nothing.
Suddenly, Amari stopped laughing. Her eyes became frighteningly clear. "You call me mad today," she whispered. "But before the next rains, someone in this house will kneel before me." Kato threw the marriage beads onto the ground. Only a year earlier, people had praised Kato as the most devoted son in Nambara. After his father died, Kato repaired roofs, carried firewood, and worked other people's fields so Mama Luma would never sleep hungry. Whenever she complained about their poverty, he smiled. "One day I will build you a house with a strong roof," he promised. But Mama Luma had another worry. Kato was growing older, and every respectable marriage required cattle, cloth, grain, or silver for the bride's family. They possessed none of these. Night after night, Mama Luma counted the same 3 copper coins. Her fear slowly became bitterness. "If poverty closes every door," she muttered, "then I will find a door that costs nothing to open." One dry afternoon, Mama Luma discovered Amari sleeping beneath an old baobab outside the village. Her dress was torn, her hair tangled, and her feet covered with red dust. Beside her lay a tiny leather pouch. When Amari woke, she pointed toward the northern hills. "My house is behind the sleeping lion," she said. There was no lion. Mama Luma assumed she was mad. "Where is your family?" Amari laughed, then suddenly began crying. "I had a father. Gold followed his footsteps. Then fire came, horses screamed, and I forgot my own door." Mama Luma barely listened. One thought had already entered her mind. A woman without relatives could not demand bride price. For the first time in months, Mama Luma smiled. Mama Luma brought Amari home and gave her food for 3 days. Then she began building her plan. To Amari, she said, "My son is gentle. Marry him, and you will always have shelter." To Kato, she told a different story. A wandering healer said this woman comes from a cursed family. If a good man marries her, the curse will disappear, and blessings may enter his house. Kato did not believe in curses, but he trusted his mother. "Does Amari truly want this marriage?" he asked. Mama Luma looked away. She agreed. It was only half true. Amari had agreed to stay with them, not fully understanding Mama Luma's hurried marriage plan. That lie became the first crack inside their family. After the angry wedding beneath the baobab, Kato refused to share Amari's sleeping mat. Yet he could not bring himself to be cruel. That night, rain poured through a hole in the roof above Amari's corner. Kato silently moved her mat to the dry side. When she woke, she found his blanket covering her feet. "You hate me," Amari said. "I hate what my mother did," Kato replied. "I do not hate you." For the first time, Amari looked at him without confusion. "You have a clean heart," she whispered. The next morning, Mama Luma mocked Amari for talking to birds. Kato immediately defended her. "Enough, Mother. She is my wife now. Whatever brought her here, she deserves respect." At that moment, Kato truly meant it.
Amari behaved strangely, but strange things began happening around her. One morning, she buried 3 cooking pots upside down beside the house. Mama Luma shouted, "Why are you ruining my pots?" "Because the ants are moving their eggs," Amari answered. That evening, a violent storm flooded the lower side of Nambara. The buried pots kept their grain dry, while other food in the hut became wet. Another day, Amari smelled Kato's drinking water and threw it away. Kato became angry until they found a dead lizard inside the storage jar. Again and again, her strange actions protected the family. Mama Luma became uneasy. A truly senseless woman should not notice things before everyone else. Perhaps Amari's broken words were hiding something.
Mama Luma's uneasiness turned into suspicion. She began testing Amari. She gave Amari the hardest chores, served her the smallest portion of food, and sometimes hid things before accusing her of losing them. One evening, Mama Luma deliberately hid a wooden spoon. "You useless woman," she shouted. "You cannot even protect a spoon." Amari lowered her head and said nothing. Kato had seen everything. He reached behind his mother's water jar, pulled out the hidden spoon, and placed it before her. "I saw you hide it." Mama Luma's face stiffened. Kato continued, "Poverty did not make us cruel. Do not use it as an excuse." Amari quietly watched him. That night, she whispered to herself, "The good tree still gives shade."
During the next full moon, Kato woke and found Amari outside, drawing shapes in the dust. First, she drew a long road, then 3 hills. Finally, she drew something shaped like a sleeping lion. Kato remembered her strange words beneath the baobab. "What is that?" Amari stared at the drawing, as if frightened by her own hand. "My father took me there when I was small." "Where?" She pressed her palms against her head. "I cannot remember. There was a stone door, blue cloth, boxes, many boxes." Then she screamed and erased the map with her feet. From inside the hut, Mama Luma had heard every word. The phrase "many boxes" stayed in. The following morning, while Amari washed at the river, Mama Luma opened the little leather pouch Amari always kept near her sleeping mat. Inside was no money. There was only a broken golden pendant marked with a sun above 3 hills. Mama Luma's breath stopped. Years earlier, she had seen that same symbol stamped on expensive cloth carried by wealthy northern traders. Suddenly, Amari's stories about her father, horses, boxes, and the sleeping lion no longer sounded meaningless. Mama Luma quickly returned the pendant. But when Amari came home, Mama Luma watched her differently. Until that day, she had seen Amari as a burden she could use. Now she wondered whether the poorest-looking woman in Nambara might possess a secret worth more than cattle. That evening, Kato heard his mother whispering while she thought he was outside. Golden sun, 3 hills, boxes. Kato entered. "What are you talking about?" Mama Luma quickly changed the subject, but Kato knew she was hiding something. Later, he asked Amari about her childhood. Normally, he asked gentle questions. This time, his questions were sharper. "Was your father rich?" Amari frowned. "I remember servants carrying blue cloth. I remember rooms larger than this whole house."
Kato's heartbeat quickened. That night, he imagined cattle, land, silver, and a roof that would never leak. He hated himself for thinking about wealth. Yet before sleeping, he looked at Amari and wondered not whether she was happy, but what she might be worth. The good son's heart had received its first poisonous seed.
Soon, a harsh, dry season came. Their grain jar became almost empty, and Mama Luma feared hunger. Amari walked around the yard, tapping the earth with a stick. "What are you doing now?" Mama Luma asked impatiently. "Listening." "To dirt?" Amari ignored her and began digging beneath an abandoned corner of the hut. Kato helped. They uncovered an old clay storage chamber sealed beneath the floor. Inside were sacks of grain that Kato's late father had hidden years earlier, and everyone had forgotten. Mama Luma stared at Amari. "How did you know?" Amari touched the wall. "Old houses speak. My father taught me where traders hide food during dangerous seasons." Mama Luma felt shame. The woman she had treated like an animal had just saved her from hunger. After learning that Amari might come from wealth, Kato's behavior changed. He brought her flowers. He repaired her sandals. He even began sleeping beside her and whispering sweet words. Amari smiled because she believed the kindness she had first seen in him was finally becoming love. But almost every tender conversation ended with the same questions. "Do you remember the northern road? Did your father hide gold? Where is the sleeping lion?" Mama Luma noticed. One night, she saw Kato searching Amari's leather pouch while Amari slept. "What are you doing?" she demanded. Kato jumped. "Nothing." Mama Luma saw the broken golden pendant in his hand. For the first time, she recognized in her son the same greed that had once ruled her own heart, and she was frightened. The next morning, Mama Luma found Amari alone. She placed the golden pendant in Amari's palm. "This belongs to you." Amari looked confused. Mama Luma lowered her head. "I searched your belongings. I mocked you. I used you because I was too poor to find a wife for my son. I told lies to both of you." Amari remained silent. Tears gathered in Mama Luma's eyes. "I cannot undo what I did, but I can stop doing evil." Then she warned Amari about Kato searching the pouch. Amari's face fell. "Kato?" Mama Luma nodded. "Be careful. That night, Amari placed the broken pendant beneath the full moon. Moonlight filled the missing half of the golden sun with shadow. Suddenly, she screamed. Memories rushed back. Her father had been one of the richest caravan merchants along the northern trade road. Their family stored gold, fine cloth, silver ornaments, and land deeds inside a stone chamber beneath a hill shaped like a sleeping lion. Years earlier, raiders attacked their caravan. Amari escaped through fire and smoke, struck her head, and wandered for months with shattered memories. "I am not from nowhere," she whispered. Mama Luma listened in silence. Amari began drawing the map again. This time, her hand did not shake. "I remember the way home." Behind the doorway, unseen by them, Kato was listening. Before sunrise, Amari prepared to travel north. Mama Luma insisted on going with her. Kato appeared carrying a bag. "I am her husband. I will come too." Amari studied his face but said nothing. They followed the dusty road across dry grasslands and rocky valleys. On the second evening, 3 hills rose before them. The middle hill curved like the back of us. The stone door had 3 hand-shaped marks carved into it. Amari suddenly remembered her father's rule. This chamber opens only when 3 people place their hands here, and each speaks a truth they fear to admit. Mama Luma placed her hand first. I used Amari because I was poor and desperate. I was cruel to an innocent woman. A click sounded inside the door. Amari placed her hand second. I stayed because I was afraid of becoming homeless again, even when this family hurt me. Another click. Kato pressed his palm against the 3rd mark. I have always loved my family, he said. Nothing happened. His face tightened. Finally, he whispered, "Since learning about the treasure, I have wanted Amari's wealth more than I wanted her happiness." The stone door slowly opened. Behind the door stood rows of wooden chests wrapped in faded blue cloth. Amari opened the first. Gold gleamed beneath the torchlight. The second contained silver bracelets and precious trade beads. Another held documents showing ownership of fertile farms, houses, and storehouses along the northern road. Mama Luma covered her mouth. Amari had not merely been the daughter of a wealthy man. Her late father had been enormously rich. Kato fell to his knees before the treasure. For one moment, Amari remembered her prophecy beneath the baobab. Someone in the family would kneel before her. But Kato was not kneeling to Amari. He was kneeling to gold. His eyes glittered. "We are rich!" he shouted. Amari quietly answered, "No, Kato. This belongs to my father's daughter." Silence filled the chamber. Kato stood slowly. "What do you mean, yours? You are my wife. A wife's wealth belongs to her husband." Amari stared at him. The man who covered my feet with his blanket would never have spoken like that. Kato's jaw tightened. "That was before I knew what you had." Mama Luma stepped between them. "Enough." Kato turned on his mother. "You wanted this marriage because she was free. Now that she is rich, you suddenly pretend to have morals?" Mama Luma accepted the insult. "You are right about what I was, but I learned shame before it was too late." Kato pointed at the gold. "I worked my whole life in poverty. I will not walk away from this." The kind son who once defended Amari had vanished. Greed now. While Mama Luma and Amari examined the documents, Kato secretly took the stone door key and carried a small chest toward the exit. Mama Luma saw him. "Kato!" He ran. When Mama Luma blocked the doorway, Kato pushed past her and she fell against the stone. Amari rushed to help her. That was the moment Kato could have turned back. Instead, he grabbed the chest again. Mama Luma, bruised and trembling, pulled the key from his belt and threw it to Amari. "Lock the treasure, even if my son hates me!" Kato stared at her. "You choose her over your own blood?" Mama Luma answered, "Blood makes a family. Character decides whether that family survives." Kato dropped the chest, but his face showed no regret, only rage that he had lost the gold. Amari returned to Nambara as the rightful owner of her father's estate. She repaired Mama Luma's broken house and gave her a safe home, not because Mama Luma deserved payment, but because true repentance deserved a chance. Mama Luma spent the rest of her days treating Amari as a daughter. Kato received no gold. He had begun the story as the kind son who protected a helpless woman, yet greed revealed the darkness he had allowed to grow inside him. Amari, whom everyone had once called mad, proved to be the lost daughter of a wealthy merchant. Before leaving the old baobab one evening, she said, "Never measure a person by torn clothes, confused words, or empty hands. Never judge people by appearance, poverty, or weakness. Greed can corrupt a good heart, while genuine repentance can transform a cruel one. The greatest wealth is not gold, it is character."
If this story surprised you, like the video and tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were Amari?